Hi, and welcome back to HVAC Talk, Let's Be Real. My name's Renee, I'm one of the owners of LCS.
And I'm Mike, I'm a service tech.
All right, so today we're going to talk to you about a couple of calls that we received last week that ended up having a similar issue. So it has to do with smart thermostats, but people called because they thought their air conditioner wasn't working correctly. So Mike, I'm going to let you take it over. Tell us what you found with, we're going to talk about the Nest specifically because that's the thermostat that we ran a couple of calls on last week. But this can happen with any smart thermostat.
Right, so the customer's complaining that the unit's not keeping up, and it's a brand new system for the most part. And when we arrive, the unit's running great, cooling just fine. We see no issues with the actual equipment. But what we're finding is their Nest thermostat is set in the eco setting. And what that does is there's a program, if you've programmed your temperature in there, this thermostat senses you, and when it doesn't sense you after so many minutes of inactivity, it sets itself back. So you could be working in your house at the other end of the house, it does not sense you, and it sets the thermostat back. And it sets it back to say 78 degrees on a 90-degree day.
Whew. Okay, so that's going to make it seem really hot in your house.
Right.
So you're going to go over there and it's going to show, will it show on the thermostat then that it's 78 degrees in there?
Well, it will say what the temperature is in there, but once you walk up to it, it will go back to its original setting. So even though a minute ago it was set back to 78, when you stand in front of it, it shows 72 or whatever you had it set at originally.
Okay, so that's making people think that it's 72 or it's set for 72, but it's not keeping up,
Right.
Which is why people are thinking there's a problem with the AC. So Mike, do you know what proximity of the thermostat it senses you?
I don't know exactly. It's within a few feet. So,
Okay.
So you know, typically it's going to be in a hallway somewhere. So as you pass by, it senses you, or in a great room. But if it's at the other end of the home, which some of them are, and you're at the opposite end, it's not going to sense you until you walk near it.
Okay, so it basically thinks that you're not at home.
Exactly.
Okay, so the point of these settings are to save energy, right? Because then it's not running. The problem is then on an especially hot day like we've had yesterday and today, if it's 90 degrees outside and it really is going up to 78 because it thinks you're not home, then it's going to run and run and run to try to get back down to 72.
That's right.
Okay, so just check those settings if you have a smart thermostat. The other thing to check for, a lot of utility companies offer some sort of like energy savings program, and it's really meant to help the power grid, to like take a load off the power grid. So if you participate in one of those, and you usually know if you do because you'll see like a $5 credit on your statement or $10 credit or whatever that is. But a lot of times they will cycle, it's all done wirelessly, remotely, but they'll cycle your system off and then they'll cycle it back on. Well, it can fall behind a little bit, take a while to catch up. People don't always realize when those events are happening, and so they come home and they think that there's something wrong with their air conditioner. So if you need more information, if you participate in one of those programs, just call your energy company and they'll be able to tell you about those events, when they're supposed to run, all that good stuff. So, okay, well, I hope that helps and gives you some good information about your smart thermostat. If you have any questions at all, reach out to us. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next week on HVAC Talk, Let's Be Real.